we're just going to go over some basic HTML elements to help you build a foundation to be able to make some awesome web apps. So first thing to know is that most HTML documents or the HTML page usually has a doc type, and if I click here I'm at jsfiddle.net, you can say that HTML5 is my doc type. Within the doc type, you usually have a HTML tag, and you can see that there's no need for the HTML tag. It's already in the output. Within there, you can add a head tag. Okay, and again, there's no need for the head tag. And another tag you can add is the body tag. Okay, this tag is for informational stuff, for meta data. Other stuff you put in here is references to other files. In your body tag is the stuff you want to see. So on Google's page, when you go to do a search, there's an input box. So that's another type of an HTML tag is input of type equals text. And we'll close that. So this is self-closing, and this is closing a tag. So for clean coding purposes, I would tab all of these in just so that I could see that this has these children and and I can see where they end because I can just follow the line down. But yeah, so that's kind of the general setup of an HTML page. Since we're playing on JS Fiddle, though, for learning purposes, we don't need any of those, but because they're all kind of there for us. And if I create this input tag and I go run, I can see that I have an input tag here. And if I down here, if I right click in Chrome and go to inspect, I can see that I have an input tag. I see that body. If I open up the head, I can see all that metadata and styles and stuff that I was talking about, like references to other files that are there. And I have my HTML tag. I have my doc type declaration. And we'll go over the need of these eventually, but these let's just focus on learning HTML and getting cool things onto the page. So I've got an input. Input has another really helpful attribute called placeholder. And so we can just put that in there. Actually, let's say username. And then I'm going to copy this and add another one. And instead of text, we're going to say password. And we're going to say user password there. So if I run this, I now have two boxes, and they have the username and the user password there. Ignore these little dots. They're from my LastPass auto-populator for usernames and passwords, because it's realizing that that's what these are. This is a password field and a username field, so it wants to auto-populate those for me. So in here, the user could type their name, and here they can type their password. And this is just out of the box what HTML does for us on its own. So I don't like that they're next to each other. That's because inputs are of a style, they have a display type of inline, so they're just going to stack up next to each other. I can add another cool element called a BR, or a break. And if I run this, that'll put them right on top of each other. I can copy this and paste it in there and have two of them and run it and get them split up a little bit. I have another option that I can wrap these in what's called a div. Which is like a division. Oops. and with that, it'll create that same break because division is a block. There's another one that I could do that's a P or a paragraph tag, and that has some default padding space. And then there's another one called a span, which is inline again. So spans are almost as if you've done nothing. So let's put divs back. Run that, and I get my block, but I'm going to also add that break tag. Actually, I'm going to add a different tag. I'm going to add an HR tag. HR tag gives us a nice little line in between, which we could style and make better, and we'll talk about that eventually. Let's add a header tag. Let's add an H2. Headers come from H in sizes H1 to H6, H1 being the largest and H6 being the smallest. So we're just going to go like this, log in, and we're going to take this guy, put him underneath here, and we're going to add a break in there. There we go. We got a login, username, password, and now we need a button. So we're going to do another div set, and then we're going to add a button. Whoops. A button. It has an attribute as well of type, and the type is going to be button that we're going to use for this one. And it opened up a tag for us. Let me just tab in here correctly. And then we're going to say log in. Okay, so if I run this, now we get, login, we have a username, a user password, and a login. And that's it for HTML tags and attributes. There's a lot more that we'll explore and do as we go on, but this is just an intro just so that you can get a feel of some of the options that are available. And this is how we structure them and how we get input from the users and how we tell the users what we want them to do. Good luck coding.